And welcome back, everybody. Thanks for sticking with us. And that is the copy of Jim Farfaglia's book. It's about the Nestle company, and it was when it was up in Fulton, New York. And as I'm holding it up there, Jim, I'm reading the back of the cover, and it says that they were turning out 1 million pounds
Yes.
of chocolate a day.
Yes.
That just seems incredible.
It is. It is. And that includes all of those products that we talked about and many more. 1 million pounds a day. In fact, I have a little fun in the book about trying to break that down for the reader. What does that mean in terms of numbers of bags and morsels and things like that? Because it's just an incredible amount. Yeah.
They must have had train box cars lined up there to get that product out of there.
Very good question. They actually built the original factory along already existing railroad tracks because they knew that was going to be one of the ways they could get their product out. Yeah.
The company itself, back in those days, was making more than the candy, though. I mean, it was just candy in Fulton, right?
Well, in the early years, it was just milk production.
Well, talk about that, the early years, how that started.
So we heard about Henry Nestle, and then let's go back to Switzerland, and chocolate was a sort of a popular product, but not the chocolate that we know today. It was, I call it the energy bar of their day. It was just used for people that needed a quick energy jolt, but it had a bitter taste to it, and some people that like the dark chocolate that's more bitter. That's the kind of chocolate that was around back then. And people were experimenting with trying to create chocolate that would be more, children would like it.
Like a confectionery.
Yeah. So this man named Daniel Peter, who happened to be next door neighbors with Henry Nestle, was one of the people trying to figure out what could I add to the cocoa beans and sugar, which was the primary ingredients, that would make this chocolate more palatable. And Henry Nestle, the legend goes, Henry Nestle said to Daniel Peter, what if you put my milk into your chocolate? And Daniel Peter created the first milk chocolate bar. So when he had a success, he wanted to expand to America, and there we go. There's the label that, and as you can see, he was the original creator of milk chocolate. When he wanted to expand to the United States, where better to put up his milk chocolate factory than next door to a milk production plant in Fulton. So that's how chocolate came to Nestle in Fulton. And then by the 1920s and 30s, chocolate production was so popular that the milk production was phased out. And then for decades, it was primarily making chocolate.
Did during the heyday of the company in Fulton, was all the Nestle candy that was being consumed in the United States being made in Fulton?
For decades, yes. It was the only factory. There's the only factory in the United States for over 5 decades, from that 1900 to 1950s. And then it started expanding. And through its entire life, it was the largest factory. Here we see the milk production coming in from the dairy farmers, the milk cans coming in from the farmers. Here's somebody delivering cocoa beans that are bagged in the tropics and brought to ports.
So we had the cocoa beans being shipped into Fulton, New York, from down in the tropics.
Yeah.
But the milk product, that must have been a godsend to dairy farmers around here.
Yeah, in fact, from my research, it was probably the first time dairy farmers were treated like legitimate businessmen. There were contracts that Nestle had to sign with them that protected both the company and the farmers. They were paid a good wage, higher than they were used to getting. So it really boosted the economy for those farmers.
Yeah, we've got some more pictures that we'll show you too and all these pictures are from the book, yes?
Yes, they are.
And where did they come from? Where did you get the pictures?
They came from the archives. Somebody wisely, before the company closed, this is called the conch machine, which was something Nestle perfected in terms of how chocolate was made. These all came from someone who had the wisdom to digitalize all the paperwork of the Nestle Fulton company, and I was given privilege to research that for my book.
And how many pictures are in the book?
There's 70 in the book. I had access to about 1,000. So that was a tough decision.
Where are the 1,000 today?
Well, they're with the company archives. And something to mention, maybe of interest to readers, you did mention there's no trace of Nestle in our city anymore. There's talk of starting a museum of some sort, somewhere to say this was the first Nestle factory in the United States.
Yeah. I was down at Hershey
Yeah,
last year. Boy, what they've done on their legacy, huh?
that's exactly what we'd like to do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The number of pages in the book is how many?
250. 250, yeah.
How long did it take you to write it?
Well, it took me about 2.5 years. I researched for a year and interviewed for a year, and then I'm a very slow writer, so the writing, editing, you're a writer as well, you know, a lot of writing, good writing is editing.
Yeah. And I'm a slow writer too, so I can sympathize with you.
Yeah.
The book is for sale locally at Barnes & Nobles, yes?
Yes, Barnes & Noble, and Amazon, of course, if you type in my name or the name of the book. I will put a little plug in for my local bookstore in Oswego. If you're ever
Sure.
in the Oswego area, there's a store called Rivers End Bookstore right in the heart of Oswego, and they sell the book. I have personalized copies there, so they're autographed copies, and they do a wonderful service to local writers there.
Not enough bookstores around
Yeah.
these days. And the book sells for $21.99?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, good. We're going to take a short break, but we've got a lot more pictures to show you. Short break, right back.